You know how people these days are constantly complaining about being tired, stressed, fatigued, and just generally very unwell and unfit? It doesn't have to be that way. There are proven natural and holistic ways to actually fix the problem. And the key is, don't address the symptoms alone. You need to go after the root cause of the problem. And that's what we're explaining today. Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Lizon from Lifestyle Integration, co-author of The Art of Being Healthy and the author of The Speed Trap. And today we're speaking to you about how to get well naturally and holistically by addressing the root cause of the problem. And I want to give you a bit of a backstory to understand how I got involved in this in the first place. I'm a registered chiropractor. I've been a chiropractor since 1999, so I've been doing this for a very long time. And I loved what I do. However, I was feeling very, very restricted because I would have people come into my office and they would have their various aches and pains, knees, backs, necks, whatever it was, but they also had problems with diabetes or blood pressure or fatigue or burnout or depression. And I was very conflicted because I wanted to help these people, but I didn't have a full approach on how to do that. And I wasn't always comfortable saying, go back to your family doctors and have them look at it, because I knew, and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, I knew that the doctor would very often be only addressing the symptom and not the root cause. And I do need to qualify, there can be a time and a place, obviously, that you do need to address the symptoms. But if you want to truly get well, you do need to address the root cause of the problem. And that was where I was feeling really, really restricted and not sure what to do to help my patients with their chronic degenerative problems. And one day I had a patient come in and he gave me these CD full of MP3s and books, and he said, here, read these, listen to these, and then let me know. And I kid you not, there was about 200 different files on that CD. So I did what any good chiropractor would do. I kind of smiled and nodded and said, yeah, I'll see what I can do. And when he came back the next time, he asked me what I thought, and I said, oh, well, really, I haven't had a chance to kind of get to it all. It's an awful lot. And he says, well, just have a listen to this particular MP3 and this particular file, and then let me know what you think next time. So I did. I was commuting at the time. I had the ability to listen to some of these MP3s. And I have to say, when I started listening to this, I became hooked immediately. And there was a couple of people that I was listening to that just started making sense. Medical doctors that just started making sense. And they were all talking about holistic health, yes, but they were using a tool. And the tool that they were using was the hair tissue mineral analysis. And that measures, as you can see here, the levels of different minerals in the hair, as well as some of the toxic metals. And while it's a subject for another video altogether, the hair tissue mineral analysis is the baseline measuring tool that we use to help determine how someone is coping with stress and what it is that they need to do moving forward, certainly when it comes to supplements, but also from other aspects. And a hair tissue mineral analysis, it's worth just mentioning this very quickly, is the right test at the right time for the right people, meaning if you broke your leg, would you want a blood test or an x-ray? And of course you'd want an x-ray. A blood test is a good test, but it's not the right test for that particular problem. A hair tissue mineral analysis is testing the tissues. And the tissues is where most of these chronic degenerative problems are, not the blood. So both tests have value, but the tissue test will often give us more insight into what's going on. So that's how I got involved in working with hair tissue mineral analysis and dealing with the root causes of the problem, not just the symptoms. Here's how it all works. What you can see up here is an overall model of what you need to do to get well. And you can see in the middle of the model, we've got stress. Stress in its various forms is the root cause of virtually all chronic degenerative problems. In fact, you could say that we don't actually have pathology in our bodies. We do, but just for the sake of an example here, you could say that we don't have pathology in our bodies. What we actually have are extremely pathological lifestyles that create the pathology or the problems within our bodies. It's our lifestyle, people, that's doing it to us. It's our stresses. And the stresses, you can see, can be emotional, like you're probably thinking about, but it can also be physical if you have too many aches or pains. And it can be chemical if you've got these imbalances or toxic metals or other chemical issues, which is a huge problem for a lot of people. So within this model, the first thing you need to do if you want to get better is to eliminate your stress. Can everyone eliminate their stress? No. But you can reduce it and come up with long-term plans. Because the reality is, you need to reduce or eliminate that stress, or you need to contain it, which is why you see this ring around it. You need to contain it with positive lifestyle factors to try to offset the stress. And the example is a bank account. You've got deposits and withdrawals. Your withdrawals are your stress. Your deposits are the good things, the lifestyle factors that you're about to learn and about to do. Now, if your withdrawals are so massive that the bank account is being bled dry, I don't care how many deposits you make into that. If you can't make enough deposits to offset those withdrawals, you will be in trouble and you will have chronic degenerative problems, and they will not go away no matter what you do to treat the symptom. However, if you can slow that bleed of withdrawals, or if you can make more deposits than you do withdrawals, then you will gradually get better. And that's how we help people with their chronic fatigue and issues and pain and stress. We eliminate the stress and we counsel and talk through people how to do that, and then we add the deposits. And I'll briefly describe the deposits because they're each worthy of a video of their own right. You can see the first thing that we do is diet. And I say to people now, and I say it very definitively, you cannot fix modern day toxicity problems and lifestyle pathological problems with diet alone. You can try, and you need to have a good diet, but a good diet alone is more than likely not going to be enough to get you where you need to go. It helps, but it's not enough. The next factor we need to look at are lifestyle factors. Things like exercise, sleep, water. These are basics, but you would be amazed at how many people do not get enough sleep. They do not drink enough water, and they either don't get enough exercise, or worse, they exercise too much. The next factor that we need to look at are correct supplements. And supplements have a role to play, but supplements alone are not going to fix someone, but you need to make sure you're taking the right ones. So we have to acknowledge with medicine, if you take the wrong medication, you're going to have a problem. That's why we have to have measures and checks and balances. We have to acknowledge that if you're taking a supplement, and if you acknowledge that that supplement has good that it can do, the flip side of that coin is you have to acknowledge that the wrong supplement for that person can and does create problems. So we measure with the hair tissue mineral analysis, and we can then determine what the correct needs are for people in a logical, systematic way. But again, supplements alone will not fix the problem unless you have this synergistic overall approach of putting all the deposits together. And the next factor on this ring is the detoxification. In a modern day environment, detoxification is critical. Babies are born these days, and you can look the research up. I'm speaking off the cuff, but you can look it up. And babies are born with all kinds of different chemicals and plastics and components in their bloodstreams that are coming from absolutely nowhere except for their mothers. Now, I'm not blaming mothers, and I'm not getting into any of that. I'm simply saying that we are quite toxic, and we need to be detoxifying to maximize this overall approach. So there you have it. If you're feeling fatigued, tired, stressed, unwell with chronic degenerative problems like adrenal burnout, diabetes, or heart disease, this is the model, this is the natural, holistic, synergistic way of addressing the root cause and not just focusing on the symptoms. Here at Lifestyle Integration, we're all about that. For more information, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our channel. We send out weekly videos on these topics, on near-infrared saunas and all kinds of other various bits of health information that will help you deal with the root causes. Until next time, keep well.